Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of Ambient Talkie, a show where we dive into some weird and wacky equipment and wonderful, call it whatever you want music. I'm Andy from Two Round Robins, and as you can hear, my voice is a bit rusty today. Probably because of the immense cold that we're experiencing and me consequentially getting a cold in the process. So if my voice sounds a bit horsey, that's because that's probably the reason why it is. But fret not, I do have some ginger tea with me. But anyways, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought it might be interesting to talk a bit about mashing the buttons with the new script from sonocircuit. Now, for those that know or are in the manum/norns lore, they know sonocircuit from MLRE script, from Concret, and from a couple of others, as well as being the most helpful when it came to creating my own script, Monsieur. He was the reason that thing exists today. So I thought it might be great to see what else has he cooked up with now. And this time we're gonna talk about his latest creation, something that goes by the name of STWNSH, which, as I believe it, it's Welsh, and it probably means to mash something. It's a rather a tongue twister, but hopefully, it goes through the tongue. STWNSH, as it is. It's a bit of a hassle to properly pronounce this, maybe because I'm not really good at Welsh. So yeah, that should be quite obvious. But STWNSH is quite a lovely little script. Especially if you're into more of a clocked beat making type things. Now, I'm not, when I do music for Two Round Robins, I mostly go with asynchronous stuff. I mostly go with something that's not really clocked that properly to anything. However, I do like a bit of beat making on the side. I do like when stuff is in sync. And I think this one really creates that vibe by creating something that's intuitive, that's immediate, and that it's right on the grid. And it can be quite fun. So STWNSH, as you can see, is a lovely little script that does not have a lot to do on the main script, on the main screen, or the norns itself. So this is one of those scripts that you're gonna need to have one of these. And I'm not talking about the official manum norns grid or anything like that. No, you need a grid-based device that could be connected to a norns via MIDI grid or an official grid like I have here. So this is a script that sadly cannot be operated solely on norns, but really needs two things. One of these is basically the grid, and the other thing is some sort of audio that's going to be fed or feed into the norns itself. Now I'm just going to check if everything here is fine. Yeah, hopefully it is. As I saw that I boosted up. But anyways, I'm talking way ahead of myself. What is STWNSH? What does it do? How does it function? And will it be fun? Short answer, yes. But the thing is that we need to understand here. As you can see, by moving the encoders, you're just moving the visuals. Nothing really happens. The whole magic then happens here on the grid, where you're gonna have three of these lanes. There are basically your tracks where you can record stuff, and you have, for each track, you're gonna have a mash point here. So these are the mash slots. Basically what it does, it records something, it throws this into here, and then it basically depends on your hands or a bit of mumbo jumbo on the user interface to create something quite interesting. So what could we do here? Well, basically, we will first record. So I'm gonna go on my OP1. I'm gonna go to my sequencer because I want to make it a bit of clocked. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this thing. So this is basically gonna wait for it to, as you can see, it waits for it to get to the end of this, and then it just kind of records. But you can also record it on a whim like this by pressing this button here. However, what I want to do is, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a bit of an arpeggio of sorts. And I'm gonna record. And as you can see now, it recorded it. And you probably don't hear it, but if you press this button, you're gonna hear what you just recorded. However, the fun part comes when you start meshing stuff. And this becomes fun very, very, very quick. So you can also just latch it. So as you can see, this creates something quite cool. So what I did here was basically I just pressed the latch function and I'm latching the slot. So is that it? Well, mostly it is, yeah. Basically, the fun part now comes when you start adding the tracks and start creating from that. So what we can do is we can try to use a different little sound, and let's just try to put it on track number 2. Now, a thing here that you can notice it that if you press these 3 buttons that are next to the slots, you can change a few things. Firstly, you can change how long the track is. You can go with 2 beat. So the 2 beat is gonna go, now it's 4 beats, but when it kind of goes towards here, it's gonna be way quicker, as you can see. Right, so maybe we can do like a 4-bit, and maybe we can, you can change the input of the stereo, so it's stereo or mono. You can change the overdub because you can basically record on top of this, and you can change the cutoff. So I'm gonna do this here. So that could be quite interesting, but first, let's just record something here. So I'm just gonna go with this. Now it's recording. So as you can see, how the pad reacts to your fingers is a bit different. Well, because we're using key quantization. So meaning if I go into, I don't know, quantize it to 1/4, it's not gonna let me unless I actually, you know, unless I actually play it correctly. So I'm gonna use a 1 over or 32, so it's gonna be 1/32 of it. So there you go. And I'm gonna try to create something that's gonna be a bit interesting. let's try to record whatever we have on this pattern here. So I press the record pattern button, and when it gets to this part, and now, as I understand, it should start doing something. I need to reactivate it. So this becomes then quite interesting quite quickly. The only thing is that I don't understand when exactly does it start. But, you know, there's quite a lovely documentation in PDF form that's on GitHub that basically explains this. I'm just too lazy to actually look it up while doing a YouTube presentation video. Jeez. But anyways, what else could we do? Well, we can... So I just open it up here, so it just kind of starts doing it again. And this creates this lovely jarring cacophony of mashed sound. But let's try to think a bit. Let's try to think, what if we try to sync it up to a drum? As you can see, now we're getting that clock vibe with the drums here. Now, let's try to think about this. If I move it to 4, so this will now start at 4, as you can see. Let's just try to record something. So now it's recording. Create quite something interesting. However, what we can do is we also have automash. So before we go into automash, I think it's a better thing to do is to better. So let's just try to first let's try to basically mix it a bit. And you can also leave it as so it's recording all the time. So in this way, we can create something quite fun. But anyways, what I wanted to say is, let's try to edit these slots a bit. So by holding the edit slots button, you can see that by pressing these slots, that's SLOT, you can basically edit them a bit. So let's first take a look at the first 3, and these edits are for all of these what's the word, mash parts here. So let's just go with the edit slot number 1, and I'm gonna change it to go from full on left, from 100 to 50. Then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna change it to hardcore left and right. Go here and be like minus 200 plus 200, and then I'm gonna go into hard left. And let's just see. And now, let's try to do edit slots. So we edited these, right? As you can see, hard left, center, hard right, and a bit of difference in the rates. So that's cool. Okay, now let's try to do something else. Let's go to our automash. And automash, as you can see, it just takes this lane. However, we're gonna do maybe, so this is gonna be left, center, right, center. Yeah, let's go with 4. So this is now only gonna be on this, on the beat. And what this does is, if you press it, and you press the whatever you wanna, so let's say I want this, and I want it for the probability to be 100. I want this for the probability to be 100. I want this for the probability to be 100. So this is like a little probability sequencer. And I'm gonna do this for the 30. So let's see what happens when we do that. And let's go. So I need to activate the automash function. Now, as you can see, I cannot all right, this is fun. Okay, so as you can see, by opening up automash function, I do have a bit of cool stuff that's happening here. So one of these are basically that the automash is jumping from one slot to the other, and it's just going on a probabilistic option. So 100, 100, 100, and then 30% if that could be done. So that could be quite fun in its own little way. And just like that, we created something that sounds rather fun. And you can reset it or you can stop it. So yeah, just like that. So this was STWNSH, which is a script of immense fun and pleasure, especially if you're doing something more beatwise and you just want to slice them up in a clocked way. I think this is a fun little script that you can check out, and I do encourage each and every one of you to give this thing a shot. It's quite fun. If you have a great, if not, I don't know, figure something out. You should figure something out. It's because it's good. But anyways, all I want to say is thank you for checking this out. Do hit the like button, do the subscribe thing, and do the YouTube shtick. Do all of those crazy stuff. If you want some exclusive content and free stuff like sample packs and tracks or whatever, you can become a Patreon and you can support me doing this bullshit. So that could be fun, right? But anyways, most importantly, I think it's good to have a great time. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you might be watching this particular stuff. And do take care. I'll see you, speak to you, and enjoy your wonderful company on the next episode. So with that, take care.